Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Esoteric Ramblings. I'm Jesse Arnold, and today I'm giving you my Comic Haul rundown for Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. Hello, welcome back. Hope some of you got a chance to check out the tour. If you had any questions or anything you wanted to see more or hear more about, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to go into more depth on anything, or if I went over some of the shelves too fast, I can always throw some other stuff up there. So thanks for watching that. I hope you enjoyed. Today we're going to get into the Comic Haul rundown for this week, so make sure you go out and support your local comic shop. If you're in central Pennsylvania and you've never been, I highly recommend checking out Comics Connection. It's where I work part-time. We've got a store in Mechanicsburg and in York, PA. You can find them on Facebook and all the usual places to get your information. So yeah, new comic book day on Wednesday is always a fun day, and that's why I try to get these out on Wednesday. So here we go. Going to jump right in with the event books, then alphabetical, and then there's a couple special things, and then my top three for the week. So here we go. First up is man, I can't tell with this event book what the title is half the time. X-Force number 14, which is chapter 17 of the Ten of Swords event. I had to do a double take. I thought this was a Jim Lee cover, but it is not. It is it Dustin Weaver? Is an incredible cover, which just feels like a classic X-Men cover. I really dig this cover. Yeah, so that's Ten of Swords, chapter 17. We're getting into, not to overuse a Marvel phrase, but we're getting into the end game of this event now, as things are kind of starting to all fall into place or fall apart, depending on how you look at it. Up next is Hellions number 6, which is chapter 18 of the Ten of Swords event. And next is Cable number 6, is part 19 of the Ten of Swords event, with an amazing cover by Phil Noto and great art inside. Yeah, I will give a whole rundown on all my views on this event when it is all over. I'll have a whole post just about it. I'll probably have to reread it just to make sure I get all the important things. Then we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 53. This is a pretty ominous looking cover here, where you've got Kindred dangling Spidey over the edge of a building, which is Spider-Man. You'd think it wouldn't be a problem, but after what happened last issue, who knows? It's anybody's game, right? I'm not going to spoil that, but yeah, pretty intense stuff last issue. This has been a pretty good storyline as well. I know it's been long in the works for Spencer and crew since they started the book. 2 years ago now? Almost 2 years? I don't know. I can't keep up with time, especially this year. Up next is Die number 15, both A and B covers. I always grab, I have subscribed to both covers just because I love the art on both of these. I think they're really great. And yes, if I didn't confirm this last time, the dice number does move around depending on which issue it is, so that's pretty cool. Great series. If you have not read Die yet, if you enjoy D&D or fantasy world stuff at all, I highly recommend Die. It's a little heavier. Not saying it's not fun, but it's definitely more emotionally heavier baggage dealing with story than some of the other ones, like one of my later books in the rundown here. Juggernaut 3. Again, this series is really delivering me a story on a character I never expect to get much out of other than breaking stuff. So this is a really fun series. I'm going to admit, I'm going to be sad when it's over, but hopefully they get to work Juggernaut into a better role in the X universe. But who knows what's going on over in the X universe. Speaking of fantasy series that aren't quite as heavy to deal with as Die, Once in Future number 13. Not that it's any less in any way. This has been one of my favorite reads every week. And it was pretty close to being in my top 3 this week, but there's a couple things that just happened to edge it out. So Once in Future number 13, great issue. Really loving this book. There's some amazing art. The scene with the magpies at the beginning of this is just incredible. Having gone to England a couple times, the whole exchange that grandmother has with the magpies was a form of it was taught to me when I went over the first time and encountered magpies in the park. So yeah, that was kind of fun to see that. Next is Sarah and the Royal Stars, number 9. It feels like we're getting pretty close to the end of this, at least the main arc, if not the whole series. This has just been an absolutely beautiful and amazing story. Another one I cannot recommend enough. Another like fantasy adventure series. It is really good. And I really love that they kind of delve into some of the emotional things and thoughts that at least I've not encountered in some stories like this, where they just kind of spell it out for you. In a good way. Not to tell you what's going on because you don't understand, but just they grapple with some things that I've thought about when reading these things, and it's just been nice to see that. So, yeah. So that's it for the main haul. Up next is a special freebie from Marvel. It is their 2020 sketchbook, Stormbreakers, for their new talent, their new creative people that they have featured this year. And it's just a fun little book that has interviews with the different artists and different examples of their art and all of that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I didn't get to read through the whole thing yet, but yeah, it's a fun thing. I always like getting those to, check out the different artists and things. So yes. And now we come to it, the final, I think it's the final issue of the run, but it is also my cover choice for the week, and technically it's kind of tied in third place for favorite issue of the week. The last issue, I think, at least of the current iteration of Aquaman 65, with this gorgeous Josh Middleton cover. I was really thrilled when I saw Josh Middleton was going to be doing the alternate covers for the first, or the main covers, I don't remember which, for the front end of the Rebirth series. And it's just, this is a great cover and a great issue. I won't spoil what it is, but it just feels like it's something that was long due, and I was really happy to have. Actually, I am just going to spoil it. So, spoiler warning. They finally, Arthur and Mera finally get married. It does feel that it's kind of shoehorned into the issue, especially since the cover of the regular version has them on there. And the thing that really throws me off is on the last page is an ad, a DC ad, inviting you to buy this issue. And I know with COVID and quarantine, everything was thrown off timing-wise, but it just seems weird that the advertisement for this book is in this book. But be that as it may, I think that's the end of the Aquaman series, at least for now. I know Future State and Endless Winter and different things are coming from DC next year. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll get to see the continuation of this storyline at some point down the road, because I would hate for this to be the end of it. But at least it's a very nice ending. When Kelly Sue DeConnick took over this series, I really enjoyed the first arc. What was it, the Forgotten Water or whatever it was, with the different sea gods that he was with and Amnesia and all of that. And then it just felt like a lot of stuff got convoluted, and they kept just pushing Arthur and Mera further and further to the background of the series, for whatever reason. And it felt like they were secondary or even third level characters in their own story. Not that the other characters didn't deserve story time. I just felt like we kind of sacrificed them. But, whatever. It wrapped up nicely. So I'm happy with that one. Okay. We've got the... Marvel did a series, or a single issue a couple months ago called Marvel Voices. And they're doing a follow-up to it called Marvel Voices, Indigenous Voices, which is all about the indigenous peoples of North and some of, just all of America, not just the United States, as they are characters in the Marvel Universe, and featuring Danny Moonstar on the cover here and a couple other characters. So it's a really nice one-shot, and I think it's really important to support books like this and for these stories to come out. It's not like huge... I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think there's a lot of really amazing characters that aren't just the primary characters you think of when you think of Marvel, and I think like Juggernaut is a villain, and they're telling some incredible stories there. I think you get the right creative people on a book, you can take a character who is not a household name and make it really interesting and really strike home. And maybe it wouldn't be enough to carry a multi-year series, but you can still give really good, heartfelt stories. And this is one such example of just a one-shot of, I think, 3 or 4 short stories that just really struck a chord and just were really, really good. So I highly recommend that, the Marvel Indigenous Voices one-shot. Up next is Captain America 25. This one made the list, oddly, not for the main story in the book, but for the backup story from Michael Cho and Anthony Falcone. Again, like with Aquaman and Mera, Cap has felt like a backseat character in this story. It's still dealing with the fallout of Secret Empire, where he was hijacked by Hydra and took over America and all this stuff. And I feel like that was a story they were trying to address a couple years ago that they didn't get to play out. And I'm not saying it's a bad story. It just, so many other characters are getting the screen time in this book, or page time. And it's good and it's interesting, and I'm glad to see that those stories have happened. But what really caught me in this issue was the backup story, where it's Cap is at a funeral of a friend of a man he met in a diner, and just their story and their progress through the years, and what this country means to everyone who lives here. And I know a lot of people don't like getting politics involved in their comics, but they have always been a part of comics. And I'm not even trying to say that that's that political of a story. But it's a good story. I think it's one that touches on things that are political issues, but it's heartfelt and well told, and I think it's a really nice story. So that puts Captain America at my number 2 this week. And lastly, top book for the week is Fantastic Four number 26, the follow-up to issues 25, where they opened the Forever Gate, and what that means for the people of New York and the Fantastic Four, and it was a lot of fun. Again, I really love the family dynamic of the characters in this book, with Franklin and Valeria, and, of course, the classic four. And now you've got Ben and Alicia, who have adopted the 2 kids, the Kree and Skrull kids, as their own, and just watching that dynamic change is just really fun. And Johnny and Sky, his soulbound potential future mate from the earlier story, where they went to the planet they were originally going to when they got hit by the cosmic rays. So this series, just in general, has been amazing. It's finally a Fantastic Four series that I've been able to jump on and really love. So yeah, Fantastic Four 26, great issue. And that's it. So that's it for my rundown. I hope you guys found some stuff in there that you liked, or maybe something new you want to check out, or things that you already like and love and are equally excited to read. So feel free to let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you later next week with the next rundown. I'll see you Friday morning with some quick reactions to Mandalorian episode 4 for season 2, and which I don't think is going to be without spoiling anything, I don't think it's going to be what the end of episode 3 set it up to be. I think there's going to be a bit of a not a bait and switch, but kind of prolonged payoff for that. It's going to be at least the next episode, if not maybe just the last 2 episodes where any of that takes place. So that's just my thoughts. Maybe I'll do a prediction video. I don't know. I'm not really big into those. But anyway, that's it. My rundown. Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. You have a great day. Check out your local comic shop, or come into Comics Connection if you're in Mechanicsburg or York, Pennsylvania. See you next time.